shoe.
His shoe just broke?
Yeah, he's Zioned it.
Are we live?
There we are.
Oh boy,
How is this spoiler?
it's not.
Spoiler alert.
I'll do it live.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into Las Vegas. Bring up the energy. Bring the lasers. Bring the bald eagle screech. Bring the motorcycle. Let's go! We are presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use promo code DNVR when you sign up and gamble on sports. Gamble on Summer League. Become a crazy gambler. Tomorrow night, I'm telling you, I've been telling you, don't take the Nuggets, and you've been winning a lot of money off of that. Tonight, guess what I'm telling you? Take the Nuggets tomorrow.
Did we ever find out who they're playing?
Yes, as the Phoenix Suns, who are a terrible summer league team. They lose tomorrow.
The Western Conference semifinal rematch.
The rematch is a chance for an actual revenge.
You know what's
tomorrow
funny
night.
is from the Nuggets' perspective, the roster is not that different. It's kind of like it's not that
It's
similar
so
than
true.
the team they trotted out. For
They
the,
should get Faku. Like Faku would come off the bench
That's right.
still if he was around. No, I'm
Yeah,
Marcus Howard.
Faku wouldn't get let into Ball Arena because he doesn't look like an NBA player. He definitely would not even get let into Thomas and Mack.
It's so true.
They'd be like, "Are you a blogger?"
So tonight, that's an insult, man. Come on.
I know.
That's some real-
internationally decorated champion.
So tonight we have a fun show for you guys. It's our final night in Vegas. You can see we have a lot of beer here for us to consume. I'm probably going to consume a lot of them. Vote had the simplest challenge anybody's ever. I don't know. We have some guests, by the way. They're going to be coming on in just a second. We got good buddies of mine. Doyle Rader, one of the top names.
Doyle rules.
Second only to Bones Hyland, the
That's
second best name in the world, only behind Bones Hyland. And then, of course, we got Kirk Henderson.
Who you know as the ice guy.
The ice guy. Yeah, we got him a nice
That's
fresh
a deep cut.
fresh cup of
What
ice.
do you have nice to say about Kirk though? You were putting Doyle's name up there with Bones Hyland. Yeah. You're just like, and Kirk.
And Kirk.
It's so true. It's so true. So we're going to have them on in just a bit. We're going to talk about Seth Part now. We are 3 tiers into a 5-tier system on the NBA.
Oh boy.
And there's some controversy
Oh
here.
god.
I love it. We're going to talk about that. We're going to put Jamal Murray as Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr.
I have not even looked at these rankings
Oh,
yet, so
makes
I'm
me
very excited.
That makes me extremely excited. And then we're going to take your listener questions and do all of that. But first, Harrison, Vegas, final day. You still got the energy? Day
Yeah,
3.
no, I'm good. Like I could be in Vegas for a while. It doesn't get to me like gets to the common folk. So I'm
You know
good.
what the person watching
Wow.
at home probably wow, that was actually as subtle as a flex and an insult. Look at Harrison. The deep laugh, the deep belly laugh, man. I've seen it more times on this trip than I've seen like in
Dude,
8 weeks prior.
Wind's letting his hair down. Vegas wind
Vegas wins.
stonks her
So
up.
here's what I was gonna say. People don't know that watching from home, you know, Harrison's the handsome one, he's the professional one, whatever.
I've
like
always
this-
disagreed with that, but
You really think- but what people don't know, he has a frat level to him.
that's true.
Oh
It's
my
like,
god.
Harrison's like frat boy score
Oh,
is way
what?
higher than people
Yeah,
realize.
the-
Eric, you agree with me on this, right? He doesn't fully.
Why?
it's way
Because I
higher.
ordered a salad at dinner last night.
Yeah.
It's because you're from Boulder and you have a jawline.
It's all like- but also just because he's actually like a really good, drinker. He can do it.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Harrison's
we've
built
all
for
like hit
this.
walls, and he
I am
just
so
like
sad.
runs right
and
through them.
he's just ready to go.
Yeah, I mean that's that University of Colorado education.
There you go. Totally hitting a wall. You wouldn't believe it. He's reading philosophy, but he's pretending to read philosophy books. It's Brendan Vogt.
Have you know I'm 25 pages in, buddy.
Oh my gosh, 25 pages.
That's when
bro.
you know that vote's ready to leave Vegas. He whips out the philosophy book.
He's on the LeBron James reading plan where it's like always on the first
The first page.
he sits in his locker room and he just like.
What's your favorite
pretends
thing
to
about
read.
Malcolm X?
Anyway, like I said,
Smart
I can't
guy.
wait to get out of Vegas.
Doyle, we have a beer for you. You got to grab one. You got to be okay. I got you. Doyle's not afraid of shakeage. So if you guys have some questions, want you guys to send those in to us. He asked me to throw him a beer.
This is the Doyle I
It
remember.
just exploded everywhere. Absolutely ridiculous. So if you guys have some questions for us, hit us up. We do have. I want to spend this first segment kind of going over these. And we actually had a great one coming in from our guy Josh Bennett down there from Down Under. He had a great one. I don't know.
What was that?
I don't
Was
know.
That was offensive.
Dude, earlier I did. What did I do? A pirate or something? And it was like we actually don't know what it is. Josh Burnett, though, he asked a great question. He says, "What are the low-key, underrated, and overrated things about Las Vegas?"
Can I go first?
Please.
You can have this whole segment,
I would
actually.
like to take the
Yeah.
entire city.
Dude, you're such a, listen to this. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. Weakness.
Yeah.
Weakness.
This is the philosopher.
This philosopher is here.
Philosopher take.
All right. There's a couple here. Underrated food.
Yeah.
Underrated food.
What are you talking about? It's just a commercial chain of shit you could get in your hometown, but it's overpriced.
Oh, here comes big market vote over here. Yeah, here he is all of a sudden. Yeah, Gordon Ramsay's like, oh, just a sellout television.
I'm just
fake
upset because I asked the waitress if Mr. Ramsay was there,
chef.
and she was A, not amused, and B, he wasn't.
Well, she probably gets that question at least
Every
20
time.
times a
Is
night.
this the real Caesar's Palace?
Yeah, Las Vegas or the burger last night, a top 5 burger of all time. I had at the Gordon Ramsay.
The salad I had was very good.
The salad, you got the salad.
9 out of 10.
That's an underrated thing about it. Give me an underrated thing about Las Vegas.
Underrated thing.
There's a lot of it. You're not wrong.
I am joking.
The
It's a great time.
the jolt of oxygen you get when you walk through the casino. That feeling of just like
What?
I'm
Oxygen?
alive.
Do you mean
It's like-
cigarette
I was gonna
smoke?
say it's arguably the
Yeah.
it's the worst oxygen in all of America. Really?
Yeah.
They what?
Yeah, they
pump
pump in
in
oxygen to
oxygen.
the casino.
But you can't
Yeah.
notice that because you're breathing in.
Kirk says they
secondhand.
pump in oxygen, which sounds
They
insane
do.
to me. Well, really, they pump in oxygen. So
Yes.
you're actually breathing good oxygen.
So
here.
you sitting at that oxygen bar truly was a
Oh, that's
ripoff.
such
a
You
weird
really
place.
did not
I did-
need to.
I
do
did
that.
pay for oxygen on this trip. There is no oxygen there. That is so true. All right, give me one. Come on, underrated.
No, I'm.
I
giving you
gotta really think about this.
Underrated. I told you this question like 5 minutes ago.
Fremont. It's underrated because
Yeah.
it's old and buried, but it's still worth going to. I like the way that there's like a really thin sheet of ice between you and just the darkest parts of reality
Yeah.
in Vegas at
Yeah.
all times. You're just
Yeah.
skating on top of hell. So that's
It's like
cool.
look forward, don't look to the side.
That's right.
Like,
Yeah, don't
really,
look down
Really
and
focus
tread
on it.
lightly.
Yeah.
Um,
Overrated gambling. Just gambling in general.
so wrong.
Overrated.
So wrong.
It's
So
overrated.
wrong.
He's right.
Yeah. It's just overrated, man.
You've never won. You've never.
No, I've
It's the
won.
weirdest
I've won.
take.
The house always wins, man.
He says his favorite thing is the being able to drink in the street. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Like,
Yeah.
Underrated CVS and Walgreens.
Oh, that's where you. By the way, if
Yeah.
you come
really
out.
selling Las Vegas poorly.
He's right. If you come out next year, which many of you members should do, we'll get a little DNVR party. Best bang for your buck, alcohol wise. Harrison's
Yeah.
not lying. to you, man.
Walgreens. Yeah.
Walgreens.
Yeah,
Right.
to every single one. Yeah, CVS
so-
attached
so
to every
clutch.
single hotel. So here's the thing. This is actually it's so ghetto. But you know what? It never leaves you. I still do it this way. Last night we're hitting over the Cosmo, right? Fancy bar.
That's right.
So what do? CVS, grab our liquor, walk into the Cosmo because that's the same. You can't tell if you get that at the bar, you get that at
Mhm.
CVS. Nobody knows, and you do it. And it's
Well,
great.
now they know.
Well, now they know. Somebody, Corey
It's the
here.
trick.
Will there be media availability with the front office soon to announce new signings and get possibly some MPJ clarity? A lot of people have asked this one. I've said repeatedly, my conversations with people in the front office that it's like, it is funny what becomes a thing. Because I don't remember 5 years ago, like signing right away your extension. The first moment you can do this is like, hey, if you have to do it. And if not, does it mean anything? This is a recent thing where people are starting to do that. I don't think it's a thing. I think that the Nuggets just like, oh, look, Michael Porter was out here. If you were having contentious conversations with your organization, I'm guessing you wouldn't be chumming it up at courtside of a game.
Yeah, but I'm also guessing MPJ is not like involved in those conversations.
Right,
though.
yeah,
that's
so
a good
true.
point.
So it's probably just like not his
Don't you think this is
deal.
compounded just by the fact that that's how it went down with Murray? Not just like right away, but also early. And so now people
It's gonna be
have it in their
early.
head
Look,
that it has to be early.
Michael Porter will sign this offseason, or
Are you going on record again? By the way, everything we say is on record. It's recorded. So
that is
I
true.
love
It is
when
on
you
record.
do that
This
preface.
is off the record, guys.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
no, I'm just saying,
you know.
it's gonna happen. I'm not that worried about it. It was great to see him out
Yeah,
here.
I'm not worried about it either.
So,
But to the question, no, I don't think they'll have a formal availability with
No.
Tim and like talking
I
about
think
this.
the Nuggets are like 48 hours away from going dark for 4 weeks because that's their real off season.
Right.
We're talking to a lot of them going home. Going away or whatever it is to visit
Well,
family and this or that.
the Nuggets coaches and staffers have pretty much been working straight for 2 years.
Mm.
You
That's a
know,
good point.
there really wasn't much of an off season this time last year. So this is like the first total dead period there's going to be in 2 years.
Yeah. Everybody here is looking forward to it too. It's like
Yeah.
really funny to hear everybody's conversation. Like, it's been a sprint. Are you guys? We get this one from the alien. Are you guys spiking or doing the kind of buzzed all the time Vegas thing? People don't know this. I'm a downhill runner. I've said this. Not a
Yeah.
marathon runner. I'm a
We
downhill
know that
racer.
because you
guys
said it
know
like 6 times.
I have said it like 6 times.
24
I've
hours.
never lied. never
I've
told a lie.
been, with the exception of like actual Nuggets coverage, I've been pretty buzzed since I got here. I just feel like being sober in Vegas is like jumping out of an airplane without a parachute.
It's been very odd just to be around Vogt when he's been drinking constantly because I feel like I can't tell when you're buzzing and when you're sober. You hide it very well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
No, yeah,
It
you
used to be a very destructive.
you
drunk,
hide it
so
very well.
Thank you. By the way, I've wanted some one-on-one time with Harrison Wynn for about 3 years, and we're roommates now, thanks to a very tight budget. And I just want to say, it's been great.
It has been great.
I'm a big Harrison Wynn guy, if you didn't know.
Does he have a question here? What's the difference between a foul against the Laker and a foul against the Nuggets? Serious question, and this one's coming from effing the inevitable. I honestly don't buy that. Like, look, I'm the biggest Lakers hater on earth. Honest to God, there's nobody
That is
hates the
true.
Lakers more than me.
It's a fact.
And they have a million built-in. What's that?
Anthony Irwin.
That's funny. But I will say that's one I don't go into. Like, does LeBron James get calls? Does Anthony Davis? Yes, those are stars. But guess what? If LeBron went to the Cleveland Cavaliers again, he would also get called. It wasn't like when he was in Cleveland, he wasn't getting calls. So it's a superstar thing, and the Lakers happen to have superstars. But if you ask me, just like, is Alex Caruso getting the benefit of the doubt? No. Well, when he was there, no, of course not. So, I have the Lakers. I have a million
We've
conspiracies.
got
That's not one
11
of them.
downvotes on the show now. Good job, Adam. Thank you.
All right, you take this one.
No,
Yes.
no, you're doing great. I just want to badger and pester from the side.
You're doing a good job.
Thanks,
I'm
buddy.
kidding. You're not doing
Ah,
a good
shit.
job. You're doing as bad a job as you were at your
Keep
Jersey challenge.
That challenge was like low key. You gave me 30 minutes. I had 15 of that goes toward posting on that internet.
Can I swap you out now? Can we swap you out? Can I bring Doyle on? Can I bring my main man on?
Yeah,
Can I
fine.
bring on? Hey,
Look, I'm
good job
happy.
today.
If it's for Doyle, I'm happy.
You
to-
brought sandals to the show too. Like, people were very, very offended in the comment section.
I'll just go home.
Just kidding. We love you both. All right, look at my main
Yo,
man, Doyle.
you know-
Underrated.
You know you're my
Doyle.
dog. We've summoned many times together.
So, everybody gets to know the
Yeah,
Kobe.
oh God, that's so true.
The Kobe beef up on Twitter. Dallas Mavericks fan. Very clearly, the Lakers get the benefit of the doubt.
Of course, always. That's just their thing.
Coming in hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, does Luka get the calls? No. Does LeBron? Yes.
Does Luka get called? I love this already. We're going full homer. But I want to ask you this: if I were to tell you at Summer League, you have 30 minutes to find one jersey, somebody wearing a jersey in the stands or in the hallway, whatever, of all 30 teams, could you do it?
All 30 in how
30
long?
minutes. You have 30 minutes. You have to take a photo of somebody in a jersey.
I could
So-
get 20.
I was just there,
At least.
and it was rough this year, though. But I
It was
mean,
a little rough. It was a little rough
like,
this year.
I get it, COVID and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it, but I've seen stuff on the street. and
I don't know what
stuff.
the
Yeah,
stuff was.
the whole pandemic.
Yeah.
you know,
I heard of it.
It kind of has been killing people.
Yeah,
no, the jerseys were not
Oh,
as
come on,
popping.
Baptist.
Hey man, I got a governor who's like trying to say, "Hey, everything's fine," out in Texas. Like nothing's fine. Okay.
Doyle coming right in hot.
Yeah.
Coming right in hot. So,
No.
For the record, was your answer no?
I could not do that. No, not
What would you get? How many would you get? Would you guess?
15.
Oh wow, that's very well. Vote. You have somebody in your corner over here. Doyle's on your side with it.
Harrison just took a wide shot in the entire arena.
Yeah. So tell me, Dallas has maybe the least interesting summer league team, I would say, this year.
Yeah. They got a rough squad.
Ooh, that's great for
Wow.
them. Lost in double overtime.
You guys do have Josh Green, who seemed like he was destined.
He's not playing. He's not playing.
Because he was playing for the Olympics, playing the Olympics.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he was destined at one time to be a Nugget. It seemed like last year.
It's So what? Kirk, what was the box score? Was it Tyrell Terry? Did he carry the team? Because
Aren't you covering the
he
team
had
here?
some good threes. It was a mess.
Somebody joking in the comments said, "I hope the next guest is more plastered." Did I say? You guys don't know? It's just Doyle. It's
Yeah.
actually not. That's just
This is honestly
sober.
just how I roll. Like, what are you gonna do in Vegas?
His name is
Are you not here? Come here.
I don't know what that means. I don't even know. All right, I got two quick items here to go with you over both of you guys. So J.R. Smith, Denver Nugget legend, he's going back to college.
Cool.
He's going back to college, but he's also wanting to play golf. He's wanting to play golf. He's seeing if he has eligibility, which, first of all, I don't know how NCAA works.
Nobody does.
Nobody seems to understand, because I didn't think it was like he is a professional athlete. He wasn't a professional golfer. But
Right.
it seems weird that he would qualify to be he would be able to go back and be an amateur golfer now in college and use a scholarship. Is this a heartwarming story to you, Harrison, or is this ridiculous? How do you feel about this?
Could not give a shit about this story. Like, I really could care less what J.R. Smith does.
I think all right, Doyle, I'm gonna go to you.
Can he play as well as Tony Romo? That's my question.
Oh man, just getting something Dallas adjacent into this as possible. But
I mean, Tony Romo is like a scratch golfer. So, like, what's JR doing?
The one interesting fact I saw in this story, George Karl has been very active online this week. He's been very active. Chimed in on this and said that it wasn't George Karl. Sorry, it was Woody Page.
Okay.
Legendary Denver sports writer. Sorry, George. He has been very active on Twitter, though. Woody Page came in next. Woody Page came in and said, "I used to live next to JR on Cherry Creek Golf Course. He is a very good golfer."
You know, someone with 3-point shooters are good golfers.
Yeah.
It's a thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Michael Jordan,
Steph,
not that
yeah.
guy. Well, Steph's like an incredible. Like Steph could be a professional golfer, but this is anecdotal. But I like all my like shooter, friends that were shooters in college or high school.
It's like the
players.
repetition thing.
Yeah, man, there has to be something to it. I'm telling you, 10 years from now, we're going to really understand the brain, and we'll make great golfers and shooters everywhere. I thought you guys would be a lot more excited about this. I was wondering, like, so if J.R. Smith, because at first you read the story and he's like, he's going back to college to get his degree, and you're like, oh, that's awesome, good for him.
Good,
People
great,
go and
yeah.
continue their education. Then it's like, and he wants to play golf, and I kept thinking, like, you think it's going to be like his, like
Dude,
high school, like where are regular college students where they just don't go to school?
no, well, I can't believe I'm going to have this take, but it's going to be like when J. Cole played in the African League. He's going to take a spot away from a student athlete who deserves it.
Can you imagine somebody getting their scholarship revoked? They're like, I'm sorry, I know we promised you.
Yeah, no, we got
It's gonna be
J.R. Smith joining the
really
team.
good
man.
for the program.
Yeah.
That's a reference though. J. Cole in like the African League,
Right.
Oh my goodness,
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fairly
No.
big story.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, that was kind of a big deal. All right, last story before the much needed first break here. Carmelo's on the Lakers. This actually happened a while back. We just didn't even reference it.
Yeah.
But I kind of want your take on this one here, Harrison. Like, Melo, we boo him. I've said
We're not allowed to, though.
We're not allowed to. But I've said the relationship to Carmelo Anthony is more complicated than people lead on. People still like him and have fond memories of him, but kind of hate him until he retires or this or that. But I gotta say, man, going to the Lakers, my level of hatred went from like comfortable hatred to now I'm like, dude, I really, really, I never want the Lakers to succeed. I really don't want them to succeed now.
Really? Because it didn't have that effect with me. Like, Melo's just playing with his buddy LeBron, who he's wanted to play with his entire career. And now, like, he finally gets a chance to do it. I don't hate Melo anymore now because he's on the Lakers than I didn't like him with the Knicks or the Blazers.
It's just grosser. It's not about hating the guy. It's just like gross.
It's just like Melo is such at the final point of his career. And he had, one moment for the Blazers in that series against Denver. He's just such an afterthought right now.
Yeah.
It didn't really tip the scales for me.
Yeah. Who's the guy in Dallas that is the Melo, like, was beloved but now is like changed? Kirk has an answer for us here. It's you.
It's you.
It's you. Kirk is the guy. Kirk.
Well,
Kirk's like,
no,
it's me. I'm the one that's hated.
Hopefully it's
everyone
not
hates
Calvin
Kirk
Booth.
now. That's the weird part about it. Everyone hates Kirk.
Is there an ex-Mav though that's like the
Jason Kidd?
Mark Kidd? Yeah, come
Is
on,
it Jason
Mark
Kidd?
It's not Jason Kidd.
The
either.
head coach.
Honestly, that's a great question, and I've never actually thought about it.
Well, you would know. I think there'd be a guy, like if there was one, you would know. It sounds to me like maybe there's just not one.
Finley, when he got bought out
He
and
can't
sent
count.
to the
Nobody can hate Finley, man.
right,
Like,
exactly.
he's not
That's the
good
thing.
enough to hate.
That's the closest thing, I think.
Really?
It was there was a lot of animosity when he got bought out because of all of that contract stuff, but that was about it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work out with Melo and the Lakers. Like, I'm weirdly.
Oh no, wait, sorry, Rondo. Everyone hates Rondo.
Oh,
That's an
yeah.
But the thing is,
Yeah, that's a
Rondo's
good
not
one.
A Mav.
Right, and like I
Celtic.
never cared about that. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, Rondo's a Celtic.
I
Yeah.
think, honestly, Melo is kind of like there's not a lot of other Melos, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Right.
I think Kirk, this is why you're going to be a fan favorite here in just a second. Let's hit our first break. On the other side, we're going to get into Seth Partnow's tiers up on The Athletic. He does it, but Seth Partnow, great writer, good thinker, friend of ours,
Great guy.
really great guy. Like, and he spends time. Like, player rankings can be really dumb. He puts a lot of time and effort into these, but at the
They're
same
tiers,
time,
not
they're
rankings.
They're not rankings. They're tiers.
Very
I actually think
important
we'll
qualifier.
talk about this on the other side, but we're going to get into it. And then we have some maps guys here. Jokic guy myself. Something of a Jokic man. We're going to talk about Luka Jokic, who belongs in a higher tier. Well, is it going to be definitive going
Luka.
forward? We'll talk about that on the other side. Let's hit our first break.
Yeah, I wish I had some of these right now. We tried to find them here in Vegas. We went onto the Breck Brew beer locator.
They were here.
No, they weren't. I went to a spot where they were supposed to have Breck Brew and they did not have any. So we came away with these terrible beers.
Yeah.
Anyways, pick up some Mile High City Copper Lager from Breckenridge Brewery. You can pick some up from your local liquor store. You can pick some up from the Breck Brew Farmhouse. Make sure you have some on hand for Nuggets versus Suns tomorrow from Las Vegas. You might need some of that to get through that Summer League game based on how these first two have gone. Anyway, pick up some Mile High City Copper Lager from Breckenridge Brewery. Also, at manscaped.com, DNVR listeners, you guys can get 20% off plus free shipping with the code DNVR. Again, use that at manscaped.com, get 20% off plus free shipping. Make sure to pick up the Lawnmower 4.0. It's got that 4000K LED spotlight, different blade length sizes 1 through 4. If you get the Performance Package 4.0, you get the travel bag, which is a $39 value. Great for all trips. I actually brought mine with me to Vegas this weekend. Yeah. Thank you, Kirk. I say this every time. The most underrated part about the Performance Package 4.0 is a travel bag. Get it for 20% off plus free shipping with the code DNVR at manscaped.com.
All right. Can we tag team you out now?
Yes.
Kirk, come on over here, man.
Please.
So Doyle can drink some more beer.
All right. So Seth Partnow, every single year, everybody say hi to Kirk. So every year Seth Partnow does this tiers. And I got to say, first of all, I hate player rankings more than even Seth does. And Seth talks about it. But I will say tiers, I can understand tiers. I do think tiers work because you could fit a broad, like you could say, okay, you're okay. He's coming back in.
I'm sorry, man. There's rankings. There's still rankings.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. They're just in alphabetical order. But a tier I can understand. Like if you told me, because we do this all the time. Like, who's the best players? Is it LeBron or KD right now, or Giannis or whatever? I'm like, you know what? They're in the same tier. It doesn't matter the margins here. Are you with me on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like them. I like
right.
the tiers.
They're now having their own like, little side podcast in the back here. So the Nuggets ones on this list here in the fifth tier. I'm trying to scroll down here to remember. I had these bookmarked and now I can't find it. You've never heard these at all? Nuggets did not have a player in the fifth tier. They did not have a player in tier number 5. They only had Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon in tier number. I love it. Not only does he have tiers, he also puts them in like A and B. He has them in 4B. Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. in 4B. And just to give you a reference of who is in this tier alongside with him, Bogdan Bogdanović, who I love, Bogdan Bogdanović, Karis LeVert. I'm trying to find like more wings, like comparable wings. Dylan Brooks is in this tier. Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Tobias Harris. And then let me see. Kristaps Porzingis also in this tier. I'm trying to find some Dallas Mavericks for you.
Be not on the list.
Let's see
He's very
if he
bad.
gets healthy.
You're not a Kristaps guy.
No, because his tombstone's going to say if he gets healthy. Who fucking cares?
And I will write those stories.
Can I curse?
Yeah,
I should have asked that.
whatever. So Kirk, honestly though, Kristaps to me is the most frustrating, like one of the most frustrating players in the NBA, because it was so clear, in my opinion, their rookie season that Jokic was the better player at the time,
Yes.
and that Jokic was, like had this runway to be this. And I felt like I was taking crazy pills that wasn't universally agreed upon. Now it is. But were you always on the like Kristaps is pretty overrated train, or was there a moment in time you thought, man, this is the next great thing?
He was pretty fun as a rookie. But
Fun.
that was really it. He started getting hurt then, and he's never been the same. I mean, I kind of compare him to a north-south running back, where he's lost his fastball because he can't go fast anymore. He's mixed metaphors. He's just unable to move quickly. He never really had great lateral movement. Now he doesn't have any. He's too tentative. He's afraid to go downhill. He has had something like 14 lower body injuries that have resulted in missed time.
Wow.
And when you're
14?
7 foot, mhm.
I didn't realize it was that many.
Well,
Holy
'cause, I mean,
crap.
you roll the ankle, like for a guy like him,
Yeah.
he's 7'2". You sprain your ankle and you miss 6 games because you're worried about the biomechanics up to the knee, up to the hip, all this sort of stuff. Whereas, a guard does it, they play through it. There's less issue for concern. Jared Dubin of 538 discovered basically that players over 7'1", I want to say it was, by the time they get to their 5th or 6th season, if that's when they start to fall off a cliff in terms of percentage of games played every year. Well, Porzingis has only played 60% of his total career games.
Well, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
That's an underrated part too when we talk about players, like knock on wood, but like Yoke's there, man. He's available.
The
Always
greatest
just
ability,
available.
not to be all Ben Golliver-y, but
Yeah.
the greatest ability is availability.
I feel like there's greater abilities.
Jokic is different.
But you can't score if you're not
Jokic
playing.
does it all.
That's another part of this. Exactly. Is Porzingis a better 3-point shooter than Jokic?
No.
Maybe.
No, he's
Like,
not.
He shoots it quicker.
He shoots more.
He does shoot more.
It's like a beeline. It's kind of like a Chandler Parsons like beeline.
She's 35% from 3. Who cares? That's
Yeah.
league average.
I mean,
Eat it.
that's pretty good for a 7'2",
I don't like him.
7'3"
Can
guy.
you tell?
The Luka
Well,
Porzingis
of course,
stuff.
it's not- no Luka.
Well, of course, but the Luka Porzingis stuff, like, we heard the reports, they're not
Sure.
exactly friends. Well, people don't realize most NBA players aren't
Are
friends.
not
Like,
friends,
most,
yeah.
like everybody thinks these guys are all like,
they don't dislike each other.
yeah. They're colleagues, but it sounds
Right.
like with them,
That's the best way to put it. They're colleagues.
but they are colleagues. But it sounds like they also maybe don't like each other. It seems like, and I thought you could even see this visually on the court. Then some of the comments come out. Is this much ado about nothing? Do you think, or is there something? There's some smoke. There's fire here.
What do you
Either one of you guys.
I don't see it. I haven't been in a locker room in like over a year.
That's true. Yeah.
But I don't see it. I've never seen it in person. I obviously am not like privy to what's going on behind the scenes, what I'm not allowed to see as a member of the media. I've just never seen it.
there's
Luka gets along with everyone that he wants to get along
Yeah.
with. So that's
I know
the
the type. I know the type though, where it's like you don't these types of players that don't have energy for guys if you don't respect them, and that's what the thing with Porzingis. A lot of teammates don't have respect for Porzingis. It seems.
Well, it from some of the whispers that I've heard is that Porzingis earnestly thought he was going there and Luka was going to be his wingman. Like, I don't understand that mindset. I mean, it had
dude. There's so many players like this in the NBA. I mean, Schroeder just lost.
I mean, Dennis Smith thought that.
$79 million because he thought this. Like, imagine
he
thinking
just
something
Nerlens
so wrong.
Noel.
He really worse.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, it should be the Schroeder. Schroeder did it.
Sorry.
Okay, so I want to ask you guys though now about some of the Nuggets guys because you've seen Michael Porter now and you've seen Aaron Gordon. When I mentioned names Bogdan Bogdanovic, Bojan Bogdanovic, Karis LeVert, Dylan Brooks, I guess Dylan Brooks more of a guard, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. It's funny because to me, I'm almost offended for Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. I'm listening to those names.
Those guys should be higher.
I'm like, those guys are really good, but
Those
you get to some of the other one. And I love Bogdan Bogdanovic. I love Bojan Bogdan. I think they're both great. But to me, they're also I feel like those guys should be low. But Michael Porter, are you high on Michael Porter that he should be in this tier? Or do you feel like he should be a little bit higher?
I mean, it's all about right now. Like Michael Porter could conceivably be the third best player in the class, depending on what you're looking at in a given day.
You got Luka and Trey. You're saying,
I mean, that's the problem with this class is it's just so good. We're gonna look back at this. And we're gonna be talking about them like '96, I think, in a real way. Because I mean, almost all these guys are going to be making not all. I mean, poor Marvin Bagley. A lot of these guys are going to be making, close to their near max. It feels like out of the top, probably. Yeah. You just go through the list, and so I don't know. Like the rubs against Porter seem to do much more with just he needs more time. I think he got a lot better between year 1 and year 2, and I earnestly thought he was the dumbest player in the draft, and his ability to improve where he did was really something. I think that it's just if he was on a different team, it'd be interesting to see because his some of his skills aren't utilized to the maximum because the Nuggets are simply so good.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like his rebounding. Like, he is a dominant rebounder, and I don't think like the casual fan understands that. And rebounding is kind of an underrated skill in the league right now. I feel like, particularly offensive stuff. Like he goes to the glass, and he's a bear.
His rebounding is interesting in that it's pretty dependent on what position he's playing, and really what that means is who he's playing alongside. I think when he was a power forward, dominant rebounder. When he was at small forward, was not rebounding almost at all. So it's kind of that to me. His rebounding is actually really interesting because of how there does appear to be a control there. If I read off some of the names though on the other side of this, so that was the 4B. Those guys both landed in 4B. If we go to 4A, Brandon Ingram, DeMar DeRozan, Gordon Hayward, Jeremy Grant, by the way. Jeremy Grant ahead even of a Michael Porter Jr. Let me see what Robert Covington is a 4A player.
No, hard pass. Covington keeps getting traded for multiple picks. I mean, does that mean he's really good, or does that mean that people like consider more of him? He's an idea.
If he was a member of the Los Angeles Lakers, he would be the most coveted asset.
Robert Covington?
Yeah, absolutely.
Be coveted. I'm so curious with this one. Also, it's funny because I think if you ask Nuggets fans to rank the players currently, not projected future, but currently on the roster, at least 90% of them, if not more, would have Michael Porter ahead of Aaron Gordon without much thought. It wouldn't be like you could 1A, 1B. You'd be like, no, they're not in the same tier. Michael Porter is a more important player, and maybe they're wrong because I do think that Aaron Gordon, what he provides, is really important, and it doesn't shine in every game. But it's just interesting that an outsider, as Seth Partnow, has them as Seth Partnow has them as the same tier. To me, that was really interesting. I did forget to mention though, in tier 5, there was one Nuggets player. I forgot to mention this one, and actually he comes in. Is it 5A or 5B? He's a 5A player, and that's Jeff Green. Jeff Green, a 5A player, and here's the crazy thing: of all the players in Seth Partnow's tier 5. Jeff Green has the best contract or lowest contract, the cheapest contract. I thought that was really interesting because I'm not that high on Jeff Green, but
old man Jeff Green has worked out a career and he's great everywhere he goes though. You want him on your team. Yeah. Honestly, you want him on his team.
If he's your 8th or 9th man, you got a pretty good rotation.
Well, according to this, he's a lot higher than that. I mean, he's kind of on. Swap out. We're going to do another tag. We're going to keep Psycho in here. You have some hot takes.
Doyle rules.
I know. I can tell you have some real takes.
No,
here
I
with
don't. I just wanted to be on the show. I'm a egomaniac.
it. I love it.
Jeff Green, by the way, I think part of it is that Jeff Green looked like he might be really, really good at one point coming out of college, and that he was more of a very effective rotation player and at times overpaid, maybe almost sort of muddied the waters in terms of how he's evaluated. So
it is, but Jeff Green's also like is who he is. There's no more like what's he going to be, and that's
that's
why it's interesting here. As we move up though here, and now we get into the third tier. The third tier here, it's funny. I don't understand this. It's actually such a Seth Partnow thing because there is only 5A.
Okay.
There's 4A and 4B, and then there's 3A, B, and C. So what are these tiers? Why not just call them like
rankings?
Okay, all right.
Sorry,
you win. You win on that one. You have to go all the way up into tier 3B to get to Denver, and we have on 3B Jamal Murray. Murray, and here's who he is alongside in 3B: Bradley Beal, Donovan Mitchell, Ja Morant, Mike Conley, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. These are all players who are in 3B.
I think two guys on that.
That's a good list.
It's a good. I think most of that list is.
There are two guys. I think we're going to agree on them. Who are they?
Well, Conley.
I mean, how many players
Ja
are
Morant.
left?
Ja
Like,
Morant.
how many players are not? Has he not revealed yet? That's kind of my question, because when you get to if there's like 14 guys left and there's only 2 tiers,
so
does that make
that's what it is. There's 2 tiers left, and it is the top 20 players.
Okay. So we're talking
Jamal Murray is somewhere. So there are 4 players in tier 3A.
Mhm.
So Jamal Murray is is not a top 24 player, but he's somewhere after that.
Okay.
In that tier.
I mean, I like anywhere if you're getting in the top 40, that's a really good player.
The Mitchell one's easy to put those two
Sure.
side by side feels easy. I mean, if they're up there with Beal, then it feels generous, right? It's a good placement. I do have to say I love him. I know at times there was a time when he was underappreciated. Might have swung the other way for Mike Conley. I mean, you just think about what Murray did in the bubble. There's not a circle of hell in which Mike Conley accomplishes that. So
And Ryan Blackburn posted the game. I think I don't remember if it was game 6 or what it was from that Utah series where he was, I think, 22 of 25 or something in the game, 50 points. Like, and what was it? Like 22 of 25 or 21 of 24 or something like that. No, it was 80%. I'm pretty sure it was like 80 something. You need a little break here.
No, I just have to go.
Oh, okay, Kirk.
I'm also a Uber driver while here in Vegas for a variety of people. I just there's a lot of people out here, and I told them I'd give them a ride. I don't want them to hang out. I don't want them to hang out.
It's a good excuse.
Thanks so much, Kirk. And then
Kirk,
come
you're the
back
best.
because
let's get drunk.
we have plans here tonight.
Let's go to Fremont. I'm going to go to Fremont.
No, we'll see you in Fremont, though.
Scout it out for us. Jamal Murray, though. So if you want to know the players he is behind, Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, Trae Young, Zion Williamson. Those are guys in 3A. Now, Zion, I'm actually kind of surprised is only 3A.
If you're going to do that, you got to put Porter higher. If we're doing the what they could be, do you think it should be higher, Zion?
Yeah. Zion did have the 20 straight games of 20 points or more.
All right, I might be under. Yeah,
he
is in New Orleans. So.
You have watched Zion play the Nuggets a lot, though.
Yeah,
and
he dominates
Kills
the
the
Nuggets.
Nuggets.
Drew Holiday, definitively up. Look, he's an NBA champion. What he did this year,
Sure.
of course. Trae Young, even okay.
Sure.
Devin Booker's the one that bugs me, and I think we're the only ones.
Yeah.
Denver, we're never gonna win this popularity contest, but
Where's Zach LaVine on this list?
has he popped up? I don't think. I think he's below. Yeah, he's in 3C, so he is below, and I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, Booker just had that run, so I get that right now it feels that way. But again, I mean, if you want to compare it to the highs of some of these other guys, now that was Booker's first playoff run, so there's something to that. I don't know, he's an older age, but I mean, he did look great, answered a lot of questions about whether he can play winning basketball. So I don't want to gripe too much. I appreciate Booker, but I also maybe if you had Mitchell, Murray, and Booker in a tier, maybe that would feel appropriate to me.
It almost wouldn't. It would actually be fun, and they're all so jumbled together. But it is
good.
those guys are. It is going to be fun to see which one rises to the top of that group because they are kind of same age,
And now it feels like those guys have been really jockeying for position. After the bubble, Murray's on top. Obviously now Booker is. It could be Mitchell this time next year because Murray's not going to play for a lot of this season.
Right.
Well, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
So they could just be jockeying for a while.
So, all right, let's take our final break. On the other side, we have not seen on Thursday. We're going to get tier 2.
Not supposed to announce the breaks anymore, bro.
Oh yeah, Thursday we're going to get tier 2. Friday we're going to get tier 1. And what I want to ask is, one, where's Jokic going to be? Where does he belong to be? And how many players do you think belong in a different tier than him? Not ahead of him on a ranking, but in a different tier than him. And then also, I just want to ask about projecting this next upcoming season. Who's going to be the big riser for the Nuggets throughout this next season? I have a hot take on Michael Porter.
All right, I failed miserably on that jersey challenge, so I'm going to the bathroom while you do this break, and I will see you guys later.
To puke or what? Oh, to pee. Okay. Guys, right now at Illegal Pete's, they've got happy hour all day, all locations, or not all day, at all locations from 3 to 6 p.m. every single day. $1 off drafts, $1 off house and coin style marks, $20 party marks, $1 off large chips and queso, and large chips and guac. Free chips and salsa if you're drinking at the bar as well. So stop into Illegal Pete's today. Tons of locations all across Denver. They've also got one just blocks from the DNVR bar on East Colfax that we frequent a lot. We love Illegal Pete's. Yeah. So stop in there. I know. Like we had Chipotle the other night. Ugh. Didn't hit quite the same as Illegal Pete's. Didn't hit the same. So stop into Illegal Pete's, take advantage of that happy hour that they've got at all locations from 3 to 6 p.m. Right now at DraftKings, they've got a great offer for DNVR listeners. Another can't miss offer. All you've got to do at DraftKings is, because college football is coming up, they're celebrating the start of college football season. All you got to do is bet $1 on a college football game, and you're going to get $200 in free bets instantly. All you got to do, bet $1 on a college football game. Doesn't matter what happens. Doesn't matter what team you bet on. Just bet $1. Get $200 in free bets instantly when you place that bet. So shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook doing this for the start of college football season. Make sure to download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DNVR to receive $200 in free bets when you place a $1 bet on any college football game. That's promo code DNVR to get your free $200 in free bets instantly for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Colorado only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Finally, at Strava Craft Coffee, StravaCraftCoffee.com. We could use some right now. I've been drinking crappy Starbucks all week here. All I got here is Starbucks on the strip. Go to StravaCraftCoffee.com. Use the code DNVR25 if you've never ordered Strava Craft Coffee before. You're going to get 25% off your order. If you're a returning Strava Craft Coffee customer, use the code DNVR20 for 20% off. Strava Craft Coffee packed with CBD can help relieve back pain, neck pain, arthritis, headaches, other aches and pains that you might have. If you're a returning customer, DNVR20 for 20% off. If you're a first-time customer, DNVR25 for 25% off your order.
Look who's here. D-Mind is in our set. And I just, during this ad break, checked the chat, and I see him. This could get any less professional. So casual. And, oh man, I'm hearing that my mic is no longer working.
Your mic's no longer working.
So this is not my show. You guys kind of want to go online.
Maybe disconnect it and reconnect it.
How is this now?
I don't think so.
One Michelob. What were you going to ask? Oh, wait. Did I have it turned on? No.
It's still not working. Yeah, I don't think so.
All right. You talk some with yourself. We're going to get the.
Well, we were talking about who's going to be in tier 1. So, I mean, should Nikola Jokic be in tier 1?
Is there some concept how big each tier is? I guess the tier is as big as you feel.
The tier is as big as you want it to be. It's, who has an argument for being in the tier of the best player in the NBA? That can be as many players as you think or as you want. Yeah, who is going to be in tier 1? Giannis will definitely be in tier 1. So it's just me. Okay.
Wait. Okay. How about now? Can you hear us now?
Okay, Giannis would definitely be in tier 1.
Giannis in tier 1. LeBron James.
would
tier
also
1.
be in tier 1. I've got to think.
What about
Kevin Durant, tier 1?
Kevin Durant, tier
I
1.
feel like he's tier 1.
That feels like a tier 1.
Steph Curry, tier 1?
Oh man, he's a tier 1.
To me, he probably is.
And here's where you get into James Harden. Here's where you get into.
I think I'm back.
Yeah.
Are you back, baby?
I'm back, baby.
Holy smokes! James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Nikola Jokic, the reigning MVP.
Right. So, I mean, I would put Nikola Jokic in tier 1. I
1A.
Yes, I would put him in 1A.
Just won an award.
I
People
probably
declare
have a
him the
bigger 1A than a lot of people because I feel like best player in the league, that can change a lot just on a night-to-night basis. I feel like,
but then the culmination of best player in the league, you give an award to, I don't know, the MVP. Like, it's so crazy. Like at a certain point, like we just have to all agree. Like we either like him or we don't like him. Like,
You know, one of your questions, like
Say.
LeBron at his
Tier 1.
peak was in a different category. But if you're like nobody's in 1A, then I would understand it because Jokic at this moment is not like prime LeBron. He's not like prime Michael Jordan. He's not even like prime Tim Duncan, in my opinion. Right now, I think we're in a weird point in the NBA where, as great as Giannis is, he still has like weaknesses that
absolutely.
that are different than some of those other guys. So if you said there was no 1A, then I would say, okay, I understand if he's 1B. If you told me he was at the bottom of whatever the top tier is of current players, I could even understand that because look, the ceiling for a LeBron, a KD, a Giannis right now, like those guys can do some things. But here's the thing I wonder. Jokic just won a series against Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum with Facu and Austin Rivers. He did it in large part because he could do it got tainted a little bit by going up against a far superior team that, by the way, beat a lot of teams this year and just running out of steam. Also, by the way, I think Jokic getting exhausted. But to me, I'm so curious how Jokic comes back this year. But I just feel good about, like, if it was mano y mano, like all things being equal, there really is, like, can he go up toe to toe against a KD? I think so.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I think he's in tier 1A with all those guys we just listed.
I mean, he has to be. Otherwise, what are we doing? What is the point of the MVP award?
I don't think he's going to be.
Well, the MVP is how you played, and the ranking is more like how you play at your best. Because let's be honest,
if this was his best, it was the best in the league.
But what I'm saying is, not everybody cared about the regular season.
I know. Well, it doesn't factor into the tiers. That's what I'm saying. Is it doesn't factor into that?
Yeah.
Whether or not it should, maybe. I mean, you can make that argument.
Here's somebody that I actually don't think should be in 1A.
Okay,
Kawhi Leonard.
I don't think so either.
He's ahead of Kawhi. Yeah, he's ahead of Kawhi.
Jokic is definitely ahead of Kawhi Leonard.
I mean, we had a series about it. There was a
yeah, we actually just
we're like, let's find out who's the better player. And it was like,
but
the funniest thing about that series, by the way, we're going back in time to the bubbles. Do you remember Kawhi on the bench afterward? Like, he gave a face I'd never seen before where he was doing that scratch. It was like, yeah, I can't solve this. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It was absolutely murdering us. Guys, I don't know how many people in the chat right now remember the real beginning of the DNVR Nuggets live podcast post-game show. It was actually this in the old lounge where we had like 3 mics.
You know what's sad is it was better because we had 4 mics.
It was better. It was better. We learned a lot of lessons on this trip here.
We've learned what our bottom looks like. Everyone's come along with us, and they've seen what it looks like together.
So Michael Porter in that third tier, though, is one that's so interesting to me because he's the guy that just very clearly to me has the most to gain. And here's the thing: I'm a Michael Porter Jr. believer. I really am a Michael Porter Jr. believer. He can be frustrated this or that. He's in tier 3B, which would place him somewhere between, we'll say, 50 and 80.
Between Jamal Murray and Mike Conley.
Well, 50 to 80. 50. He's behind Jamal Murray. Where at the end of next season's playoff, after next season, when these rankings come out next year, these tiers come out next year, where is Michael Porter Jr.?
So I feel like a lot of this conversation ends up, and we even fall victim to it, like the coastal bump or the middle depression, where we just watched Michael Porter Jr. have the most efficient shooting season in the third most efficient shooting season in the history of the
Wilt
NBA.
Chamberlain.
Behind Wilt Chamberlain, a guy who literally just dunked the ball. So does Michael Porter Jr. have potential? Yes, he does. If he was on the Lakers, he would be in tier 2. He would be Kyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he'd be Mac McClung.
But we unfortunately are saddled with self-reflection and humility. And so we also, look at our players a little bit more critically, I think, than even they deserve. Like Michael Porter Jr. is a fantastic player. Like I've never seen a guy shoot.
But
like
he
that.
also has flaws, and those flaws work. But we're really at
Who
the
doesn't have-
forefront.
That's the thing, because a lot of these tiers really boil down to like who is the best player at the highest level in the playoffs. Because being honest, yeah, the regular season counts, but it doesn't count nearly as much as the playoffs do.
Yes, and that's why Porter, if I were doing this exercise, which I would never endeavor to do, so like as many shots as I've taken jokingly apart now, like all credit to him, he's much smarter than I. But Porter's really hard because he is the guy where you go, okay, you see it, right? Every other week you see how his ceiling.
And the
is
Lakers
tier
are playing a
tier
2-3
one
zone
guy.
in summer league.
Uh,
I just had to
What
say that.
losers?
Okay.
Well, Wynn's right. I mean, the warts in the playoffs matter. Like Porter's not that guy yet. I have full confidence he will be.
Right,
Maybe-
and he'll be a lot better in the playoffs next season than he was this season. Just like he was much better in the playoffs this year than he was last
All
year.
right, let me give you 3C. So moving up 2 spots here: Ben Simmons, Draymond Green, Jaylen Brown, Pascal Siakam, Russell Westbrook, Zach LaVine.
Okay, Russell Westbrook?
Well, Westbrook's probably the hardest person to tier.
Not for me, man. Like Westbrook went from being about rightly rated to now he's massively overrated, I feel like. Because everybody went from saying triple doubles meant nothing to all of a sudden totally reversing and say they're important again when he went on that streak again last year.
All right, I'm going to give you my definitive rank. Yeah, I'm going to give you my definitive
That was
rank.
some reversal.
I
that
think
we
he's
had.
going to be 3B, which is where Jamal Murray is right now. Jamal Murray.
Don't you think Jamal Murray's a little underrated on that just because of the
Eh,
injury?
Yeah, but no, because you just gave the reason. I mean, like that is a reason.
But I thought we just established that the playoffs is where
Right.
your value comes from.
I know,
And,
but
like in the playoffs,
The bubble
you
was already 10 years
I
ago.
think this
though.
is trying to project this next season, meaning like upcoming. Yeah, he probably won't be
Sure.
that great. Like I'm not trying to be.
I
hard on Jamal
I
with
can see it in
injury,
that
so-
respect. Yeah.
But I think like if you talk about Donovan Mitchell and Michael Porter, can they be on equal footing in people's minds next year? I think he's that good that he can be a guy that people are like, I don't know who I'd rather have, Donovan Mitchell or Michael Porter. I think he'll be there. The next tier up, by the way, Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, Trae Young, Zion Williamson. I don't know that he'll be there,
Not next
but I
season.
think he'll be right below that. Top 30 player in the NBA.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think you're right.
I'm hopeful.
You're right that he's going to be right there during the regular season. Like he's going to be an absolute monster during the regular season. Michael Porter.
I'm with
He's
you.
going to average like 23 a game. I could easily see that. 40% from 3, 10 rebounds. Like he's going to be a monster in the regular season. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. Like I think he's going to be definitely better than he was this year. Is he going to make a huge leap in the playoffs next year compared to this season? I don't know. It'll be better. I don't know how much better.
I think Kirk nailed it, man. I can't stress this enough. Porter has played far fewer high-level games than people realize. I know his
Right.
age is a little
Yeah.
up there, but
Yeah.
the college
Couple
thing
of
didn't
things.
actually really happen for him.
Yeah.
And then his rookie season didn't actually really happen for him. Then he had to battle through not actually playing through coach's decision. So he has not really had those reps. Though what he didn't get done in the playoffs matters, but think about how long it took for Jamal, in our eyes, to really make that leap and get past the warts and become the guy we wanted him to be.
Yeah.
It's been a really, really short runway for Porter here.
I really love seeing him out here, man. I know it's silly, but like
The one Nuggets guy we've
the
seen
one
out here.
Nuggets guy we've seen.
That's
Look,
something.
I'm sure a lot of the guys we've seen guys from the past, like Monte Morris, about Jamal Murray, and this year's been just so weird. Maybe those guys will arrive. I mean,
Yeah.
a little birdie told me maybe those guys will be en route, later on in the
Yeah.
week. So we'll find out. I'll look forward to it.
Monte heard us talking trash about him potentially giving up the Mr. Nugget title.
Yeah, he's like,
And he's like, you got to get out here, do some Mr. Nugget shit.
He's got 100 pictures with Bones.
I love it. Oh, he will do some Mr. Nugget shit out here. But we have missed those guys this year. But again, it's been a weird one. I just I'm just still such a believer in Michael Porter's talent, and I think he wants. That's the underrated part of him is I think he wants it a lot more than people realize. So
Yeah.
I expect a big bump. Jeff Green, I don't know if he's going up a tier. This might be bump him.
Wait,
up
who was Jeff Green in that tier with? Can you
here, I have to pull it. I think it's
Control F.
Control. Is that what it is? No, it's right here.
because I was shocked sitting across the room when you rattled off Jeff Green's name.
So tier 5 is the largest tier.
Like the entire league.
Yeah, it's a solid it's a couple hundred people, I think.
Okay, wow.
No, it's not a couple hundred. It's like 40 people. Rashawn Holmes,
Okay.
PJ Washington, Norman Powell, Nicholas Batum.
Okay,
it's
I see where this is going.
Kyle Herter, like
Kevin.
Kyle Herter.
Kevin Herter. Sorry.
Kind of upstate New York, buddy. Watch your mouth.
Davis Bertans.
Okay.
There's a lot of players in this one. I think it's.
Did we think any Nuggets player was going to be ahead of Jeff Green?
Ooh, that's
Like,
a good question.
Did we think he'd be the next guy up, or did we think it'd be somebody else potentially? Yeah,
he's with Michael Porter.
Yeah,
We
he's
talked
with
about that
MPJ.
earlier.
That's a smart ranking from Seth.
well, here's
That's
a-
a smart ranking.
Here's an interesting thing about Aaron Gordon is, he's only 26. Like he could
Yeah,
climb another.
he's a year older than Chris Duarte.
Well, there's one thing I will say about Aaron Gordon is, he has been dealing with an ankle injury all this last season.
Yeah.
And so there is a world in which he comes back and is like significantly more mobile and athletic than he was this year. And maybe at that point.
I did also watch RJ Hampton not have a great game today.
he had two very subpar back-to-back games. But he looked great though.
He did hit the side of the backboard.
Really?
Yep. He missed a dunk and he got the rebound, and then he missed the follow-up. And I was like, well, won the trade.
Before we get out of here, guys, we appreciate everybody that rode with us. This was obviously, we told you it was going to be a little bit of a sloppy one. The tech issues we've run into with some of our equipment have been eye-opening. So
Look at this.
been eye-opening.
Look at
Look at this.
Look at the 7 pixels behind us. That's beautiful Las
Pixels.
Vegas,
Like, is that
Nevada.
Look at the fountains.
We actually do have a good
You
look
see
at the
the
Bellagio. You
Bellagio
can see it in the
fountains?
back.
This is actually the best view I've ever had in Vegas.
Last night we walked out and we reminisced
That's
at
a
the
joke.
time that we performed that super calculated heist. Remember when we all
that was
robbed the
great.
Bellagio?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
really good.
and then we
Hung out
just
and-
stared at the fountains
We just
for a
stared at
couple
the
hours.
fountains just to
Yeah,
think
just
about it.
reflected.
We did it, guys. We did it.
Tomorrow night we will have a post game show. We're flying back during the daytime, but we'll be back home in Denver, Colorado, beautiful Denver, Colorado.
Oh, I miss you,
can't
Denver.
wait. I miss you so bad. We're gonna be back there tomorrow, so we will have a live post game show after the game tomorrow. I'm counting on Nuggets win. We're gonna get to see Bones Hyland another time. Zeke Najee's bounce back game. I'm predicting it. I told you, hop on DraftKings Sportsbook, use promo code DNVR, and then place some money on the Nuggets because they're gonna win tomorrow. They're gonna win. It might be their only win. Might be their only one. So tomorrow's the feel good win.
Can I just give one last update? For the podcast listeners, tomorrow Lakers are down 4 in the fourth.
Why was that needed?
No, I just want them to know.
Okay, man. Emmanuel quickly and Bones Hyland very similar.
Vode and I were talking about this earlier. They moved the same.
The same. They
When
do
I was-
the inside hand.
The
lift. They have
same
the same hair.
hair.
It's like it's wild.
What we
Yeah.
were talking about is when I made the comp and you shook it off, only to adopt it like 3 weeks later.
This me?
Yeah,
That didn't happen. Come on, man. Come
I know.
on,
I'm
this
used to
didn't
you by
happen.
now.
But I am excited for that one. So we'll have that. We'll have that show tomorrow, guys. Everybody have a good night.
Let's
Later.
go. Don't call us to